Imagine this. You wake up, open the cabin door, and a blast of icy wind almost knocks you over. The year isn't 2025. It's 1886, the deadliest winter on the American frontier. Your firewood is almost gone. The snowdrifts are higher than your roof, and survival isn't guaranteed. But what if you, yes, you, could bring today's knowledge back in time to outsmart the cold? 1. The deadliest winter on the frontier. The winter of 1886 to 87 wasn't just cold. It was catastrophic. Temperatures plunged to minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Blizzards buried entire towns, and cattle herds froze standing up, their bodies forming walls of ice across the plains. Imagine stepping outside and seeing thousands of lifeless animals where your wealth once stood. Families like the Johnsons in Nebraska faced nights when frost crept through cabin walls and water froze solid inside kitchen pots. Neighbors only miles apart lived completely different fates. Some endured, others never saw spring. Here's the lesson. Nature doesn't negotiate. Those who survived weren't necessarily the strongest, but the most resourceful. They understood how to stretch supplies, share warmth, and adapt when plans failed. And this is where you have the edge. With modern knowledge in your back pocket, you'd already know strategies they couldn't dream of. Which brings us to the next key. How to hack frontier survival with techniques 140 years ahead of their time. Second, modern knowledge versus frontier struggles. Now picture this. You're back in 1886, but you've brought with you the wisdom of the 21st century. While your neighbors pile on buffalo hides, you know the secret of layered insulation, trapping air pockets to create warmth. With just wool, straw, and animal pelts, you can mimic the principle behind modern winter jackets. You'd also improvise a solar heat collector, dark stones placed under cabin windows to absorb the weak daylight and release it through the night. To others, it looks like simple rocks. To you, it's life-saving science. But the real advantage? Recognizing hypothermia. While many settlers mistook shivering for strength, you'd know it's the body's final alarm. By teaching your family emergency warming techniques, skin-to-skin heat sharing, heated stones rotated through bedding, you'd not only survive, but inspire others around you. And it's here we find one unforgettable story. 3. Lessons from survivors and your role in history. Take Mary Johnson, a homesteader who saved her children by heating stones in the fire and tucking them into their beds each night. She didn't have survival guides or thermal blankets, just grit, instinct, and creativity. Her small act became a model others followed, proving that even the simplest tools could rewrite fate. If you stood beside her, armed with today's knowledge, imagine how many more families could have made it through that winter. You wouldn't just be surviving. You'd be a lifeline, turning tragedy into resilience for an entire community. That's the true lesson of the frontier. Survival is never about facing nature alone, but about how your ingenuity can protect the people around you. And the question remains, if history threw you into that frozen storm tomorrow, would you rise as one of its survivors or one of its stories? And remember, every era of history had storms, struggles, and impossible odds. But armed with the right knowledge, you could be the difference between life and death. If you want more time travel survival guides, lessons that turn the past into your secret advantage for the future, hit subscribe and join me on the next journey through history.